Conversations about mentoring are coming fast and furious at this point. And one of the big topics is, where do I start as a mentor? And I thought, great question. So let's shoot a video about the introductory steps using a 5-pillar framework to get us started. So with that, let's jump into the video and becoming a mentor, where to start. The conversations that I've been having are with agers, solo agers, olders, elders, and youngers. Yeah, it's quite a gambit of persons that I've had an opportunity to share these conversations with about mentoring. And a lot of them are quite positive about, hey, I think I'd like to become a mentor, but how do I start? And I share some thoughts about that. And then all of a sudden I hear, that sounds great, but, and those are like, I don't have enough time to be a mentor. This is one of the excuses they give as they sort of want to exit the conversation, or I'm not experienced enough to be a mentor. I'm not sure I have anything valuable to offer as a mentor. I'm too busy with my own career to mentor others, and everything in between. And one of the things that I'd like to share here now is that all of these but kind of statements are coming from a place very much on a surface level. Now, there might be some deeper reasons for maybe not wanting to get into it. But at the same time, mentoring is one of the most fabulous ways to educate others. And to be able to dig a little bit deeper into it to understand what it's about is really important. And one of the things that I would acknowledge now, for those of you who are listening in, is this journey of becoming a mentor is just start where you are with what you know and what you can do now. And that becomes an important place to be able to sit down with a piece of paper, pen and pencil, and answer questions like this, and certainly record them as, what do I know about mentoring? What did I learn from participating in a mentoring arrangement? What have I heard about mentoring that seems important now? Have I mentored someone? What happened? What did I learn? So just record what you know now. That's a great place to start. And not with editing, just share away what it is that you've come to understand so that what you're doing is just capturing the essence of this learning that you have gone through. So before I lay out an approach that has a framework and models and steps associated with it, I just wanted to acknowledge is that when you define terms like mentorship, mentoring, mentor, mentee, and list out the reasons that those terms are important to you and write them in your own words, then it's a great place to add to your own experience of mentoring with these questions that are here. And so, what you are wanting to do is develop your approach. You could say your framework, your model, your steps to be able to move forward. Now, some people might use terms like map, diagram, actions. Again, sometimes the language shifts for certain places. I'm just going to use the framework, model, steps in this presentation. So I'm introducing PAEVC. No, it's not a 5-letter word. Often I use 5-letter words where I can, but this is the best way that I could introduce it, this framework, this model, the steps. So this 5-pillar framework of mentoring, starting in the bottom left, has profile, step up to assessment, to education. There's a shift, a decision that gets made into verification and certification. Now, this presentation is linked with my company, Wealth Movement, And it's also linked with one of our legacy projects, which is the International Mentoring Community, where we do certification. So we're pulling from the international mentoring community and wealth movement to be able to put this framework together and present it to you. So the very first part of this is profile. Now, profile is a list of action outcome statements. Now, we've sort of seen them already. There's different ways in which to present them, even in this slide presentation. But let me just refresh you with an example. List, um, list the ethical decision-making process. That's a possibility. Another one might be manage the mentoring arrangement for a 5-month program. That could be another one. So, what it has is these action verbs at the beginning of a statement that is linked to what kind of outcome are you looking for. Now, these action outcome statements for this profile certainly contribute to the personal professional development that you may want to continue with. You may still be employed, and or you're looking for what you might do after you transition out of that employment. But what becomes important here is the profile is an accountability agreement. So when you see it and you start to interact with it and do the self-assessment, which is the next step, and you're answering yes and no for each action outcome statement, and there's a question that goes with it, very clear question that you answer yes or no, then this accountability agreement of the action outcome statements now becomes a learning contract for you. And what becomes interesting here is this is a shared decision marker. And what I mean by that is by going through and completing the yes no responses, and having this as a learning contract and an accountability agreement, you have to make a decision. Do I continue on, or well, maybe this is not for me? You may want to chat with a confidant. Maybe you have a mentor and you may want to go over it with them. But when you do the assessment, at the bottom of the assessment, there is a link for booking a call with a journey mentor with Wealth Movement and the International Mentoring Community. It's a free service, and we'll go over your responses to the assessment and sort of map out where you may want to go next and give you a good head start on what's possible. Now, if you continue with this, then it's important to understand is that where there's a no, you're going to need education. So where there's a yes, you start documenting your evidence. With a no, you're going after education to be able to improve your knowledge, skills, and attitude about mentoring. Unless you're creating a portfolio. With this evidence you're documenting, you're creating a portfolio. Now, when that's all completed and you essentially have turned all your no's to yeses and you have your evidence documented, then you can review the portfolio and edit it as you move forward. In other words, you could add, alter, or delete, because it's an important document as you move into the fourth pillar. But really, what you want to do is really solidify in your own head, heart, and hands that this portfolio represents your best responses, your wisest responses to the questions. In other words, the yes response makes sense to you and would make sense to others when you chat with them. So the next thing you're going to get into is the verification. And this is where you are going to take that traceable documentation that you've collected, the portfolio, and you're going to understand from your own personal point of view with self-awareness and self-concept about mentoring is that, yes, I want to go through verification. And the verification allows you to get confirmation of your knowledge, skills, and attitude against a standard. Now, if you remember, the international mentoring community is where the profile is coming from. So, in a sense, the international mentoring community is a third party standard that we're going to verify against. Now, you'll notice is that in the diagram, the profile assessment education is on one side and verification certification is on another. So it's at this point, do I or do I not go after verification? It's a logical step, but for some people, they might go, nah, I don't think I need to be verified or certified. I've got what I need. And so I'm just going to move forward with this really wonderful education approach called mentoring, and I'll just sort of do it under my own steam and the way that I want to do it. But if you're wanting the verification, knowing the international mentoring community is providing the standard through the profile, then what happens is when you complete the verification, you can decide on the kind of certification requirements. Now, we offer a certificate of practice journey mentor through the international mentoring community, but you may have other places that you want to go for certification, and you want to take the verification record over there with your portfolio and present it to them. Now, that is certainly a viable option to you, but you can get a 2-year certification with the international mentoring community, and recertification is every 2 years. So it just offers you a possibility. This framework, this model, these steps gives you a way in which to understand, where do I start in becoming a mentor? Now, in terms of moving forward, if this is of interest to you, go to the web page above here where it says wealthmovement.com mentor certification. Down that page, you will see this image, and this is where you can click the download in a PDF format or a Word Excel format, the profile, and just move through the profile. The question is in the top of the page. So this is what it would look like. There's a question there at the very top, and you would just answer it yes or no, going down with those action outcome statements. Now, if at any time there is any questions that you might have, you would just go to wealthmovement.com/contact, put your question into that contact form, send it over to me, and I will get back to you within 24 hours. That's usually what I'm able to do to support you. So that's an overview of the possibilities here of understanding where to start to become a mentor and moving through the pillars of profile, assessment, education, verification, and certification. Again, you can always reach out. We can book a time, use the contact form to ask for the booking scheduler, and we can get on and have a conversation. So, with that, I thank you very much for watching. We're here to help you out in any way we can and get you an answer to where do you start to become a mentor, and look forward to interacting with you and supporting you on your journey. So with that, take care.